Hi, this is Gigi from Kauai Community College. In this video, we'll take a look at more involved problems in unit conversions. All right, let's get started. Okay, so unit conversion happens a lot in culinary, in your cooking, right? So here is an example of it. Let's read. The volume ratio of a strawberry smoothie has 3 parts strawberries, 2 parts bananas, 1 part orange juice, 1 part crushed ice, and half part of plain yogurt. Now, suppose you are making a smoothie and you have plenty of other ingredients except for that you only have 2 quarts of plain yogurt. So let's say you're doing this at a party and there's tons of people there waiting for their strawberry smoothie, and you're gonna serve 16-ounce servings. Okay, so each cup that you're serving is 16 ounces. Now, how many of those servings can you make? Okay, so pause for a second. Think about where your starting point is and your ending point is. All right, so maybe you've thought about it and you know that we should start with 2 quarts of plain yogurt, and we are gonna end with servings, yeah? But here, the recipe gives you a ratio, okay? So let's talk about the volume ratio real quick here in culinary. This is very standard. They would give either volume ratio or weight ratios in their recipes. Now the ratio said 3 to 2 to 1 to 1 to 1/2, right? The half look kind of scary. So what we can do is we can multiply everything by 2 to clear the fractions, and that should give you 6, 4, 2, 2, 1, right? That means there is a total of 10, 14, 15 parts total in this smoothie, meaning 15 parts smoothies is 1 part yogurt. And that's how we're gonna use that. Or let's say in a smoothie, if you divide it up into 15 parts, 6 parts of that is strawberry. All right, that's what it means. Okay, so again, we are going to start with 2 quarts of yogurt, and we want to end with how many servings. All right, so 2 quarts of yogurt, we know that 1 quart is 32 fluid ounces, so quart, cancel with quart. I am in fluid ounces of yogurt, okay? Now, I am not serving yogurt, I'm serving smoothie, so I have to change yogurt into smoothie somehow. And from this ratio, we know that there is 1 part yogurt to 15 parts smoothie. So then part yogurt, cancel with yogurt, right? So we now, the unit that we are in right now is fluid ounces of smoothie. And that's good because we're serving smoothie now. So the next thing to say is that there are 16 fluid ounces in 1 serving, right? 16 ounces of smoothie in 1 serving. So we can go ahead and cross out here, cancel out fluid ounces, and smoothie. So now we end up with just servings, and that is what we needed to end up with. So just now throw that into your calculator. You should get 60 servings is what you should get, okay? Now, some people might ask, well, how do you know 1 quart is 32 fluid ounces? Well, if you weren't in culinary, you might not know that for a fact, but let's think about it for a minute. you could go slowly instead of the one direct step right here. You could do 1 quart is 2 pint, and 1 pint is 2 cup. Then 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces, and you have that in the unit conversion sheet that you can use. Okay, so you would have to write out a little bit longer, but you'll get there, and that's okay. All right, it depends on what unit we know, and we can go through as many intermediate units as we want, right? As long as the units work out, you're okay. All right, let's take a look at unit conversions in area and volume measures. So if we know the equivalencies in length, we could figure out the equivalencies in area and volume. Okay, so remember length, how long something is, and then measuring area means counting squares, and then measuring volume is counting cubes, right? So if we know that 3 feet is 1 yard, right? That would be in the unit of length. Then how do we visualize area? Well, this right here is 1 yard, right? And 1 yard has 3 feet in it. So here's 1 foot right here, right? 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet. And so 1 square yard, which is the whole entire red square, consists of how many little square foot? Yep, that is 9, right? And that is 9 because you have a 3 by 3 and 3 feet by 3 feet, right? So that means that the area equivalency for between feet and yard would be 9 square feet is 1 square yard, right? So the shortcut most people would say is you just square both sides, but that's how you would visualize that, okay? Now let's pause for a second and think about volume. If that was the unit of volume, meaning now we are counting cube, right? So we're gonna have that big old cube right there, right? That's a cubic yard. How many cubic feet are there in 1 cubic yard? Okay, and as you have it, this right here would be also 3 feet, right? So 3 times 3 times 3, that would be 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And I have no idea why I wrote 81. That should be 27 cubic feet is in 1 cubic yard. Okay, so that's so pay attention to that. Pay attention to what type of measuring you are dealing with, and make sure you make that conversion before you use it. Okay. So pause and think about this problem. Okay, so once you have done that, you would say, here are some of the things that I need to know. 1 foot is 12 inches. So if you square both sides, 1 square foot would be 144 square inches, right? But I need to get to meter. Well, getting to inches, the bridge between the US system and the metric system is inches and centimeter. That's something that's in your unit conversion sheet. So make sure you find that. We know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. So if you square both sides, you'll have 1 square inch is 6.45 square centimeters. Okay, so now you're in centimeter. You need to get to meter, right? So what do we know about centimeter and meter? One meter is 100 centimeters. So if you square that both sides, you would say that one meter square is 10,000 centimeters square. Okay, that's a lot of tiny little centimeter squares inside that 1 meter square. Okay, so now those are all the equivalencies that you will need to perform your calculations. So we would start with a 60 feet by 70 feet rectangle shape, and the area of a rectangle is base times height. So we have 4,200 square feet, okay? And then from there, it's a matter of just stacking up your ones until, and let the unit guide you until you get there. So I have 144 square inches is in 1 square foot. Square foot, cancel. And then 1 square inch, that is not there. 1 square inch is 6.54 centimeters square, and square inch divided by square inch, that's not there. And we are in centimeters square, we'll get to meters square. We have 10 centimeters square is 1 meter square. So centimeters square divided by centimeters square, that is gone. And we end up with meters square, which is what we want. Now, throw that in your calculator. You will end up with roughly 390 meter square. Okay. This is kind of fun, right? Unit conversion in automotive. Okay. Displacement, normally you see an engine. That's a 1.8 liter engine. Okay, so the question is, how many cubic inches is that? Because when you're talking about the size of the engine, you're talking about volume, which is cubic inches or cubic centimeters, right? If you're in the metric system. So I want to know how many cubic centimeters the 1.8 liter engine is. Okay, pause and think about that. Okay, once you have thought about it, you should have written something like this. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliter. And then in your conversion sheet, you should see that 1 milliliter is the same as 1 centimeter cube. That's a really cool equivalency, because normally milliliter measure liquid and centimeter cube is like a measure of solid, right? So that's the equivalent between something that's liquid fitting into something that's solid, okay? And you can visualize 1 centimeter cube as like a sugar cube, if, you know, for when you're going to coffee shops and they have these sugar cubes stacking up, that's about a centimeter cube, okay? And then the next thing to go to is from centimeter to inches cube. We know that in the conversion sheet that we have, we know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. But since we're talking about the volume measure, we have to cube both sides, which means 16.39 centimeter cube is in 1 inches cube. Okay, again, at this point, it's a matter of just where am I starting, where do I end up? And it's a matter of just stacking up the conversions to make it work out. Okay, so starting with 1 liter engine, and we're gonna end in cubic inches. The next thing we're gonna go to is from liter to milliliter. Okay, so liter, cancel with liter. And then we would say from milliliter to centimeter cube, milliliter, cancel with milliliter. And then from centimeter cube, we will go to inches cube, okay? Then, if you throw that into your calculator, you should get roughly 110 cubic inches. And that is the size of that engine, of that 1.8 liter engine. That is it for today. See you next time.